Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to have Harold come out and serenade you if you don't mind. Most of you know what these lyrics is about right here.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening. Welcome to R&R. R&R with Topazz. Just sit back and relax. Let's give everybody a chance to get in the room. Hopefully you're doing all right. Peace and blessings to you on this Monday. Stay hydrated, everybody. Stay hydrated in this season. Let's give a couple more minutes for people to join in. It is Monday Mindset. It's a beautiful day, beautiful evening. The holidays have officially begun. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. Invite your friends to join us. Start a watch party.
Okay, I'll go ahead and play her happy birthday, gosh.
It was my niece's birthday yesterday. We got a lot of November birthdays going around. We might even have 2 November guests coming on. I think their birthdays were in November. All right. Welcome to R&R, Release and Rediscover with Topazz. Welcome to a weekly experience fueled to heal the soul with real talk that takes deep dives into hidden mental and emotional valleys. Let's take the steep peaks of what ails us and keeps us from living beyond surviving. We want to defy all those things, those challenges that keep us, that hinder us from being in that place of living beyond surviving. R&R is also a high flight and celebration of achievements, of the progressive and progressing. This is a show to awaken the sleeping giants and the hidden phenomenon in all of us. Subscribe to CTN Media on YouTube, where we are changing the narrative in media with you. So stop what you're doing and sit back and come on into the space. Make yourself available, shut down everything else, and stay present for the next 55 minutes. If we can borrow your attention, that would be great. Tonight's show is meant to engage you. Your comments are welcome. I even have a phone number that you can call if you want to ask questions. If you have a question for any of my guests, you have a question for me, you're going to call 303-801-8052. I've sent the link to your texts, ladies, to those of you that are on the panel. If you check the group text, there is a link in there. There's also a link that you were tagged in on Facebook. You can check my page for that link as well. For your viewing audience to join in, just go ahead and share out that link. Tonight, we're going to be talking about finishing strong in 2020. We know that we've had all kinds of challenges in this past year, and it's really easy to just say, you know what, I give up because of all of the madness, of all of the mayhem, of the losses, of the pain, the wounds, the trauma. It's been a lot. It's real easy to say, you know what, I quit. Enough is enough, but that's not what we're going to do. Quitting is not an option at this point. We're going to finish strong. And so tonight's topic, tonight's conversation, tonight's processing, tonight's engagement is going to be talking about how we do just that. We are committed to finishing strong, finishing out 2020 with strength while setting trajectory for 2021. That's right. So then the question is, what do you know that you need to release in order to finish strong in 2020? And what is it that you're committed, that you've already realized? Now, whether you've done the work to do it or not, you realize that there's some things that you must recover, that it's necessary to recover to set a win trajectory for 2021. That's our conversation tonight. So whatever you want to contribute to that conversation, that contribution is welcome. Your comments are welcome again. Send those comments in the chat. We'll try to get to those. Just be patient with me as I try to read the chat to get you in the conversation. Don't be shy. Call in to the number at 303-801-8052 if you want to be a part of the conversation. You want to ask a question of myself or my guests. So again, we are looking at the strategies to thrive past forced resilience and the normalized dysfunction that we have learned to practice as a means of survival. So my guest tonight, without further ado, I'm excited about bringing these ladies into the space. Come on in, ladies, come on in. We have some amazing women from right here in the Mile High City. Got an incredible woman in education who's also a community organizer, a creative artist, a dance artist, a producer, a director, an overseer of a charter school. And so that is my dear friend, Dr. Auset, Maryam Ali. Then we have my dear friend, Shenika. She's up in the house. And so I'm going to have all of these ladies, Shenika Shaw, I'm going to have all of these ladies to introduce themselves to you and share a little bit about what they've got going on, what they've got coming up, what they want you to know about what they're going to be doing next before we get into our conversation. Then we've got my girl, Shenika Carter, up in the house. Shenika Carter with the Caravan for Justice, and she's doing big things in Denver. Both Shayna and Shenika and I had an opportunity to make some moves, some big moves out in DC this past summer, and actually as most recent as October with the Black Women's March, Protect Black Women. So that was definitely a power move, taking Denver and California and DC and Atlanta and some other places by storm and bringing all these, a collective of Black women together to really force the issue of why we need to protect Black women. So I'm going to start with Dr. Ali up in the house. Haven't seen her in a minute, so it's so good to see you, my sister. What do you want the people to know about you? I know you've got some things going on. Let's go ahead and get that shout out.
Hey, y'all. This is Healer Auset. First, let me stand corrected. Black womanhood, when you are a leader, challenges every oppressive system that this country has been built on. And in the correction of, let me be very clear, I learned through harsh realities. My commitment to Black children, my commitment to Black families does not work in these systems, does not work in how these systems are supposed to be committed to closing equity gaps, to doing whatever. So I am not a leader of a charter school. I am a leader of an independent school that will be committed truly just to our children, truly to the people who look like us, who struggle like us, have the commitment to community, because there are systems, baby, that are not for us and will attempt to degrade, snatch, steal, and rob us of our divinity of being a Black woman, and not today. So I am proud to say that while I attempted, y'all know, 16 years, I attempted to show up in systems, and I am very clear that in order to protect the Black woman, in order to protect the Black child, and to keep the fidelity and integrity of what it means to be committed to our community the way we need to, we have to be an independent model. We have to be a model where we are saying clearly that these tests do not work for our children. These stereotypes do not work for our children. If I know that a family is in need, I can show up for that family in the way that family needs me to. And that is my commitment. So please know that some things are unfolding, and the option for us to truly have an independent model school so that we can truly be what our children deserve and need is happening. Also, I am writing a book. Ms. Topazz gave me permission to not writing, I finished it. It is called Dear White Woman, a love letter to white women and women who mimic them. So all y'all mimicking white women, this is a conversation for womanhood to womanhood, and the disenfranchised woman is the Black woman. It is our voice who needs to be elevated to address what white women have done and the women who mimic their behaviors. And so I am super excited. This is the first podcast to premiere that. So I'm honored to say that we are here. And I love Shenika, I love Shaw. Thank y'all, and let's do some healing work.
All right. Miss Shaw, you are up.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am Shayna Shaw. I run the Compound of Compassion, which is a nonprofit organization here in Denver. We also have Infinite Compassion, which is a agency that cares for people who live with disabilities, which we just launched literally in the midst of my sabbatical. I just had hip replacement surgery and had some sit down time. So in the midst of sit down time, I sat down and we decided to address yet another need in the community, which is what the compound is. So the thing that I'm looking forward to and finishing strong with, this year is continuing to create safe havens for the community through the Compound of Compassion, which addresses every single individual in community, and just really creating safe havens for people to come and have their needs met and addressed, whatever that looks like for the individual, a safe place to heal holistically and through community. So I'm honored to be a part of community. I'm honored to be a part of this panel, and thank you for having me.
Thank you for All right, Mrs. Carter.
Hey, good evening. It is so lovely to be back at home, safe, and see you all your lovely faces. I'm blessed to be able to work in I'm just honored to be here, I should say. My name is Shenika Carter. I am the founder and executive director of Caravan for Racial Justice. And pretty much, as Ms. Topazz has already stated, we have traveled, I would say, eventually the earth in this fight to protect Black women. We are prepared to continue travel during a pandemic. And protecting Black women means protecting the Black womb, because we create nations. And we notice that we are currently under attack. Our children are under attack. Our education is under attack. Our wealth is non-existent. And when you have a recipe which is built on your destruction, how do you need an organization like Compound of Compassion, like the school where my own daughter is planning to attend, that Dr. Auset, healer Auset, has incorporated in community to say, hey, you may not fit the norm for this particular school. You may not be eligible, for example, with Shayna, for these services. You may not look like your neighbor. And so when you call the police, you're not protected. And so all of our organizations are here to say, hey, we see you, whether you're in Denver, in Atlanta, in Houston, in DC, in Louisville, we're still being murdered. Our children are still being murdered.
Yes.
And how do we go on? We're starving. I've been so upset all day. And I found out that the state of Colorado failed to extend state benefits. And people, and I said something about shopping on Cyber Monday, because that isn't a concern for me, okay? Not knocking if it is for you. I'm just saying, like, how can you even process or think or purchase anything knowing that our own state, where I pay my tax, everybody on this panel we're paying taxes, and we have the funds available, and people tried to certify their weekly benefits yesterday and were told no. There is money available, for example, for individuals, but because we failed to extend the deadline, they will not get an unemployment check this week. Hundreds of thousands of people that are barely eating. Okay, you have the average unemployment rate payout is like what, $561 in Georgia, Alabama, maybe even Florida. Okay, yeah, you can get by. Not here. Not when the average rent, I believe, is around $1,800 a month. And let's not count if you have children.
Right.
So
that part.
So I'm a little bit upset about that. And because I know families personally that are looking and scavenging for meals, and now they're wondering how they're going to pay their rent because we failed to extend unemployment benefits. And we're in a liberal state, right? So, that's just kind of where I'm sitting at. Again, this fight for racial justice is for all of us. If you protect Black women, you protect humanity.
That's it. That's it. That is it. Well, you ladies have given.
I love y'all. I just want to say that. I love y'all. I just want to say I love y'all. For real.
We love you.
Seriously.
We love that.
Yeah.
We love that. I want to say that tomorrow is the resource show that Jice and Shay do at 10 a.m. Now let's see, what's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Tuesday. They do their show on Wednesday at 10 a.m. And so for anyone out there that is saying, that's me, as Shenika was talking about, families that are hungry, families that are looking for work, looking for places to live, I would encourage you to check out that program at 10 a.m. on Wednesday morning, so that you can get some information about some resources in our community. They have lots of resources that they will be putting up on the screen, talking about, providing details to where you can get some of those basic needs met. In the meantime, I know that McBride Impact, I know they have some, they've got food pantry over there at the golf. What is the name of that place where they are? Denver or Park Hill Golf
Park Hill
Course.
Golf Course.
Park Hill Golf Course.
Mhm.
Also, you are welcome to come by my office for some basic needs. I have diapers, I have formula, I have children's snacks. Anybody that needs children's snacks, reach out to me, come by my office and pick those things up. In the meantime, you are watching R&R with Topazz. This is CTM Media. This is Black Media, powered by the Black Business Initiative. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. Call in at 303-801-8052. If you have questions, you want to get on the air, you've got comments, you just want to say, hey, go, 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 women, I see you, sisters. We'll take that too, because we want to celebrate one another. All right, Portia. Portia Tudor says, my sheroes. We love you, Portia. Right on, right on. Thank you for tuning in. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about, given some of the frustration that I'm clearly hearing from you ladies this evening with some really major areas. And we know that there are a lot of folks in our community who are not just frustrated, but agitated, angry, devastated. There are various ends to that continuum with regard to the circumstances of 2020, whether it is related to neglect, ignorance, intentional systemic racism, injustice, natural disasters, things that we don't have control over at this point. My own personal belief is that somebody had control over this pandemic when it started, but where it is now, it is certainly out of their hands. And with all of that's what's going on, and we are in the last 30 days of this month, of this year of 2020. We don't want anyone feeling like they don't have any options, that they might as well give up, might as well let go of their dreams, aspirations, just give up their courage, give up their faith. What do you have to offer our viewing audience? What can you share about your own decisions and commitments that you've made to ensure that you finish 2020 strong? What are some things that you have to offer that you have done for yourself in that area to finish 2020 strong? From a personal, we're going to start with a personal perspective, then we're going to talk about it from a family perspective, and then looking at community. So who wants to take that on first?
I can go really quickly. Personally, what I did yesterday, because I'm literally working on this now. So I created a spending plan instead of calling this a budget, right? My husband works for the United States Postal Service. Right now, he's been quarantined throughout the year. There have been cases after case where he's been exposed. Thankfully, he's tested negative each and every time. But because of that, his income isn't what I would consider fixed as it typically would be on salary. So I created, to get us through December, a spending plan. And that is, and I would recommend everyone to sit down. Don't call it a budget, because a budget means you can't have, and it's Christmas and we deserve something, right? And so if you call this thing a spending plan, you take 70% of your salary or your unemployment benefits or whatever, your donations or however you're sustaining. And this is, again, for the ideal situation where you're not houseless at this time. 70% of that, we're going to call that your essentials. 15% we're going to contribute to retirement savings, whatever that looks like for you. And then the other 15%, we're going to contribute that for fun stuff. I have 3 children here. Again, I'm not calling this a budget. I'm calling it a spending plan. My daughter takes acting lessons. My son takes guitar lessons. So if we can do it in this 15% and still be able to, I don't know, like the zoo, take advantage of, if you're on a budget, they have discount days for those families that are on food stamps, or we call it SNAP benefits now. So there are things that you can do to still sustain, still stick within this structured plan during a pandemic. And so we're month to month. And that's what's been working for my family is again, creating this spending plan that we plan to implement the first of each month. May look different for your family. You can't put 70% to essentials, but that is going to be your housing, your utilities, and your food. So, that is my advice. Create a spending plan.
Create a spending plan. Get your money in order, prioritize your spending, and set aside something so that you can still have a piece of the pot that goes towards something fun. It doesn't have to be extravagant. It may be something really simple and easy, but something to where you don't feel like you're in punishment. If you can afford to do that, I love that. Get that spending plan. What about my other ladies? And also I want you to think about, I want to hear what you're doing yourselves, but also want you to think about what extremes people are going through. So as you share what you're doing, what are some things can you also offer to those people? We know that there have been a lot of losses, and losses and devastation have also contributed to people feeling like they're just ready to give up. Enough is enough.
Well, for me personally, one of the things that I'm doing on a personal level, with myself is spending a lot of time in the mirror. Again, I just said I'm recuperating from surgery. So I've been sitting up in my room like Brandy for 2 weeks. And I was told today that I still don't have a clearance to drive. So that will be, an extended version of what will be taking place. And so for me, I've had to spend a lot of time with myself and really trying to reconnect with who I am, what my purpose, what my vision, what I feel like my call is, just really spending some really heavy spiritual time and looking deep within myself, facing a lot of demons, a lot of things that easily beset me, just keeping it real. It's been a traumatic year. For me personally, just in terms of loss. Both of my parents had COVID at the beginning of the thing and were in 2 separate hospitals. So we were trying to juggle that. Over the summer, we lost one of our babies that was a part of the compound, which was devastating for me on this end of it, as somebody in the community that works with the kids. It's been just like gut punch after gut punch. My sister-in-law passed away just a couple months ago, leaving my brother with 4 small children to raise on his own. So, when you face those types of tragedies and you're still a frontline worker, like I give all praises to the doctors and the nurses and, those people, but community workers are also frontline workers because pre-COVID, we were dealing with the domestic, the homelessness, the abuse, the whatever. And we still have those issues to deal with, amplified, plus whatever we're going through personally. So, the story can just go on and on and on of, different things that have transpired over these last 300 and where are we, 60 something days and counting. But for me, it's just about just reconnecting and understand that, I'm built for this, and I'm here for all the gut punches because I'm too stubborn to lay down and die. So because I won't lay down and die, I might as well just stand up and fight, like, right? Put the gloves on and go for it. And what that looks like for me personally is that my community, like I can't lay in this bedroom at night and be okay knowing that there are, you know, brothers and sisters of mine that are needing a place to lay their head at night, a safe place to lay their head at night, to call home before we can deal with the addiction, before we can deal with, you know, any of the other issues that they face. We have to first provide them a safe place to stay. And so just sustainability within self and finding peace and finding how, you know, as community leaders, I know for myself, maybe, you know, the other sisters can attest to this, but like, I want to solve everybody's problem. You know, I want to fix it for everybody, but you know, I'm not Jesus. So how I transform that is, you know, one step at a time, one issue at a time, one thing at a time, but that first starts with me. And so I've been really looking within myself and trying to really, well, not trying, but establishing boundaries and rules and regulations within myself that make it a safe place for me to keep moving forward. And so on a personal level, that's kind of how I've been spending my time.
And I love what you're saying, Shaw, because a lot of times when because of how we operate, we have a tendency to leave self out.
Yeah.
And sometimes God has to put us on our back, you know, so that we can really get the full picture of how important it is to take better care of ourselves. And so I'm glad to hear that you took this time to do more than just focus on the physical recovery, but you really expanded that to look at the full picture so that you can come out of this time of recovery truly recovered as a whole, holistically recovered. So congratulations on that, my sister. And especially since I know, you know, we kind of walked through that journey together. I know how much courage it took for you to finally say, you know what, okay, I'm going to have this surgery. I'm going to go ahead and do it. So I just want to applaud you for going forward and making it happen, getting rid of the fear and, you know, just getting it done. And so welcome to being whole, my sister.
Thank you, Mother. We have a backstory, you guys, because I called her before the show and I was like, Topazz, you guys know how she is. So I didn't realize or recognize what had transpired until somebody, you know, text messaged me and was like, good luck on the show tonight. And I was like, wait, what? And then it dawned on me what all was getting ready to transpire. This is not, you know, I told her I'm the background girl. I'm the shoo-wop pop girl. I just burn my sage and keep my mouth shut. So this is very different for me. It's a whole new place for me. And even in that, you know, facing that fear and that anxiety and her walking me through that to be on this place and this platform right now. Thank you. And then you surrounded me with loving sisters who just, you know, their energy just is exuding through this thing. And we all gonna get through it together. And that's what it's about. Yeah, so thank you.
Yeah. So proud of you. Dr. Ali.
I think I took some notes. What I did personally, one, thank you, Shenika and Shayna, for sharing that vulnerability and transparency to share who we are personally. It heals other Black women. And so I value you trusting this space. Personally, boy, did I release. Can I cuss? Okay. Listen, y'all know me. Y'all know me. So I got put on my ass this year. I really did, and had to literally go into Shayna. It wasn't a physical removal of myself, but I did have to physically remove myself and go in a cave for like literally. I think I told Mama Topazz I was in the mountains for 40 days, 40 nights. I fasted, like I did my work, right? And so when I think about what I had to do to get to the space that I'm in right now, what came to mind was a dear sister of mine, Sister Alesha. She does amazing equity work, and I just love her. She's one of my confidants. But she shared with me this TD Jakes. It's about 8 years old, but it's about 3 types of people in your life. And the first is your comrades. Your comrades are the people who are against what you are against. So as activists, as folks who have committed our lives to protect Black women, these are the people who are against the disparity of Black women, right? And so we're always going to have comrades, because those are really the people we do this work for. We may not know them personally, but they are against the same things that we are against. That doesn't mean that they are for what we are for, though, but they are against what we are against. The second are your constituents, and these are the people who are in your life with an agenda. So they can work with you, they can get stuff done with you, but they have an agenda. One of the hardest things I had to realize in the last couple of months of this year was that I thought I had folks who were and the last person is your confidants. I thought I had people who were my confidants who were really my constituents. Because as soon as I no longer served their agenda, they attempted to leave. They threw me under the bus. They did all of these hurtful, harmful things. But the resilience of a Black woman, let me let you know, allowed me to clearly see who my confidants are. And my confidants are the people who love with me, who will hold the Mama Topazzes, who will say, I'm going to stand in a storm with you, and we're going to both come out better because I'm going to hold you accountable to your greatness. I'm not going to doubt who you are as a leader, as a woman, as a mother, as a protector. I'm not going to doubt who you are, and I'm going to stand with you. And these are the people who help you build your queendom. These are the people who give you reciprocity. And so in Shayna's, even to piggyback what she said, like I had to identify who are my comrades, who are my constituents, and who are my confidants. And I had a whole bunch of folks who I thought were my confidants. And because I thought they were my confidants, when they really revealed themselves to be constituents and comrades, I had to ensure I didn't let it doubt who I am destined to be. And so if there's something that I can give to everyone personally, sit down and write a list. Who are your comrades, the people who are against which you were against? Who are your constituents, the people who are with you with an agenda? Okay, because there's a whole bunch of folks who will say they're for Black women, they're for equity, they're for the community, they're for anti-Blackness. But see, they have an agenda because it makes them good, or it gives them a platform, or it does whatever. But find out what confidants are. I'm blessed to have 2 of my confidants on this call with me. And Shayna, you about to be your next one, whether you know it or not, right? And so like making sure that you're clear about who stands with you, who stands for you, as long as you are serving them, and then who is really there just to be against. And what that did for me personally was I was able to really, really identify where to get my reciprocity, because this work is hard. You know, this work is hard. When we feed people when we need to feed them. We open our homes when we need to open our homes. We do whatever we need to do and to ensure our community is taken care of. And I think that those boundaries, you have to know those boundaries. Not everyone deserves this trust. Not everybody deserves your vulnerability. Not everybody deserves your transparency. So being very clear about that, and then letting them go, letting the people go who were in the wrong position. Let them go.
Yes.
I'm looking for my tambourine and the collection plate, okay? I don't know whether to start like, listen, bless us, sister.
Yes. Know who your comrades are, your constituents, and your confidants. And release those folks that are not doing you any good. Lee Steed says, time to clean house. That's it. Portia says, y'all better preach. So clearly we're speaking truth here. And when you're talking about boundaries, when you're really talking about setting boundaries, one of the things that comes to my mind is how oftentimes, particularly we as Black women, but I feel like it happens in our community at large, because even some of our babies do this. Because they're learning from us. What we're modeling, this false sense of strength, this false sense of resilience, because we're told that we have to be strong, and when we, in those moments when we feel weak, when we're not as strong as maybe we need to be, then we freak out that there's something wrong with us, that our identity, that our worth is compromised. And so I want to talk about that for a moment, because especially in 2020, what I feel has happened more than not is that we've been in this position of forced resilience. And there's a difference between forced resilience and natural, authentic resilience. Let's kind of talk about that for a minute. I see you shaking your head, both Auset and Shenika. Either one of you want to respond to that?
I think that when you exist in a society that every system is designed for your demise, there is no space for grace. And one of the things that I am very clear about in my own equity work is that failing forward is a privilege. That is a privilege. And so we don't get the opportunity to say, I need a moment to learn and grow, because it is expected of us to come perfected. And if we don't, we get shunned out. We get knocked out of the group, out of the opportunity, out of whatever. And we still find a way to still provide in the way that we do. So our forced resilience is very much a survival technique. And until we get to a space where our community can thrive collectively, we as Black women have to understand that that is going to naturally be a response, because systemically, that is the only way we will survive. And so there's a science behind making sure Black women, right? Like if I needed support, or if I need help, or if I need something because of the imagery of you should have known, and trust me, I learned this the hard way. You should have known better. You should have done this. I cannot be vulnerable and say, I did not know. I need support. I need help. Because the moment that we do that, now we have to, in order for us to do that, we have to address the systemic oppression that has gotten me in the position that I need help in the first place, right? And so it causes, when we are the most disenfranchised group of people, every single time our call for healing happens, it requires a self-examination of these oppressive racist systems. And so that's why we got to do the work together and remove ourselves, which is why, forget that. I do not want to expose children under my watch who parents trust me to educate them to this system where I have to continue to perpetuate that. I have to be able to say, this is what it means to fully be you in a thriving situation, and I'm going to provide that, God willing.
Yes, excellent, excellent, excellent. And, I feel like one of the reasons why particularly in this season, it is so critical for us to be committed to protecting Black women, protecting each other, is because of that forced position of resilience that's placed upon us, whether it is to survive or whether it's something that we have locked ourselves into because we've created this imagery, like what you're talking about, Auset, that if we're not as strong as everybody else, then we're not good enough. And we have to be careful about what that strength looks like, because sometimes our strength can be abrasive, sometimes that strength can be aggressive and hurtful, and that's not strength. That's not what strength is. The reality is that strength is in humility, strength is in love, strength is in patience, and we need more patience with one another right now. We need more love for one another. We need to be doing a better job of encouraging one another. That is strength, especially when you really have run out of patience, when you really have been beat down so much in circumstances, in these systems that are not designed for us in the first place, then, and we know what our sister is going through, instead of looking at her with a side eye because she's not carrying herself at the height that we know that she normally does, let's go over and pick her up, and instead of saying, okay, you better shake it off, you better get with it. That's not what strength is. So I think that along the way, we have gotten some of that twisted and distorted of what strength is. And then that forced resilience is what the system has put on us for decades, for centuries, for us to be resilient in very unhealthy circumstances and situations, which really foster a lot of dysfunction. So with that, I want to shift over to families. What are you doing from a family perspective? You're a wife, Shenika. All of us are mothers. We're in relationships at different capacities. In some situations, your parents may be going through different things where you have to care for your parents. You have to be available for other family members. What are you doing for family to support family as a whole, to ensure that everybody, as much as you can, is still finishing strong as a family unit?
I mean, for me personally, Miss Topazz, it takes balance. My daughter, she's 13, and she's often said, you care about that caravan more than you care about us, right? Mm-hmm. And so I had to check her to let her know that this isn't a competition. I'm out in these streets so that she can live, so that her brother can live, so that her sister can live. So indeed, it is for her. She gets all of me. And I have to remember that. And what I do is I incorporate this road to fighting for justice with them. I bring when you see me, you see my kids. The only time you don't see them is if Matthew's off work and he's just tired. And I wanted to go back to the strength, because I think that's something that's very important when you're having family and you're out on the front lines. When mommy says she's tired, believe her. And that's something that I had to, because again, as my daughter said, you care more about this caravan. They see us out doing amazing things. They see us on TV. They see us on social media. They see us walking and marching for a mile day in and day out. And so sometimes, when I come home, I am tired. However, again, setting boundaries, setting, like I told you, with my spending plan, putting time in that spending plan for me. Putting time in that spending plan for my children. I love how Healer Auset said, having the comrade factor, having the constituency factor, and also knowing who your confidants are, and relying on that community of confidants to say, hey, I might need you to take a Lincoln to soccer practice, because this is a community effort. Again, I am on the front line for you, and you. So if you can't call on me and say, hey, Shenika, can you send me some Grubhub because I didn't get a chance to stop, I didn't deposit my check, then why am I doing this? So it would be, for me, it would be time to check me. I'm in this for you. So therefore, there has to be some
Absolutely.
balance.
Absolutely. And knowing how to do that, because we're so often having to carry so much, we don't know what balance looks like. We've normalized this, this ill balance with all the weight being right here. We've normalized that, and then wonder why our back hurts, wondering why our neck hurts, wondering why, all of a sudden I'm having all of this, these symptoms that just don't make sense because we're putting it all right here. And then, somebody's saying, okay, you good, sis? You good, sis? We have a problem saying, well, I could use some help. Just asking for help. That is such a difficult thing for us. So often, way too much. Just admitting, yeah, I really do need some help. Asking, would you be willing to help a sister out on this? No, I got this. I got this. I got this. Stressing and straining, trying to make it happen when there really are some genuine people out there who are willing to help carry that load. Yeah. Anyone else want to speak to Linda? Linda says that she likes the 3 C's. She appreciate that. Anyone else want to speak to the family piece? What are you doing from a family perspective, and what would you offer others out there about releasing and being able to go into this end of this year strong? Go ahead, Shayna.
Well, for me, from a family perspective, I'm struggling. I can't lie. I am redefining my role as a mother because I have, I call them fake adults, and I hope they don't see this, but the adults that are adult enough to get themselves in a lot of conundrum, but they still, so I'm trying to redefine my role as a mother, and I'm very helicopter hooverish mother. Like I know the passwords. I show up in the back of the classroom. I'm her, and they're grown. Yeah, they're grown now. And so, I have to step back as a mother and give them their freedoms to explore and make, to explore. And if I won't say make mistakes, because, for me, everything that I went through ended up being a lesson that got me to who I am now. But I'm learning how to redefine my role as, as a sideliner and cheering them on no matter what choices they make in their lives, as opposed to the coach and giving out the plays. And so I'm trying to do that the best that I know how, but it's been a challenge for me. And so with that, I'm really trying to also find a place to not be so frustrated at the fact that I'm creating. I feel like God has given me the gift to create and produce and lay out a legacy for them that it appears they want nothing to do with. Both of my parents, I come from parents of entrepreneurships, and my mom owned and operated a daycare center for 27 years. My dad has an accounting firm. And I know when my mom was starting to get tired and wanting to, back up, she wanted one of us to take on the mantle. And not one single one of us wanted anything to do with childcare. I ended up doing education and this line of work anyway. But so it was always dawning on me, like, why she wanted that so badly for us. And here I am now, with these creations to hand over, to my children, and they want to go the whole opposite way of what where we are in here. They support and they show up, and they, they're very loving children, but we're still in a fight. We're still in a fight in so many different ways. I have a young son, a young black male son that I fight for every day. My girls, I'm just as equally as anxious about them being out in the world and if they are equipped. But then I have to remember who raised them and what they, what they saw in terms of real resilience as a single mother. You're the janitor, you're the hairdresser, you're the father, you're the, name it, that's what you are. And one of the things, just speaking to what Shenika said, and being all those things and create, because you have a job for every child. You do, as a single mother, you move at however you can to make things work. But I think at the end of the day, one of the things that my children probably would have said is that they would have liked to have had maybe more of me, as I was out here trying to create for them. And so just trying to find that balance now and creating a relationship with them that's not so hierarchy-ish, and be a confidant and a companion to them in that, and just finding that whole, again, it's the balance thing, and the trial and error that we move through. So that's kind of where I am.
Awesome. But we are almost out of time, so I want to shift over to community. And I would like for each one of you to share something as it relates to community, because all of you are so invested in community and have made such sacrifices for community. You are community. And so when it comes to community, what do you have to say about where you're at with community in the commitment to finish strong, and even looking at, how do we set trajectory for wins going into 2021? What would you say is really going to be critical for us as community to really take with us, and even preparing ourselves for wins as we're going into 2021? If I can get like 2-minute responses from everyone on that, that would be great. And I know that's going to be difficult because that's a big question, but we'll be all right. So go for it.
I took some notes so I could do it in 2 minutes. One, I think it's important for us to remember to give ourselves a space for grace as community. We have got to create our own healing spaces. We've got to stop comparing what we do as Black folk to what other communities do, because it's not the same. Okay, so like for example, don't tell me what it doesn't look like. It doesn't look right to another community because it looks perfect in the Black community. When we show up and say, I'm gonna pull out my money out of my pocket to help my community, and then white folks don't understand because they're like, there are rules that shouldn't be doing this. No. For us, that is exactly what should be happening. I don't care what it looks like, what is right. So we've got to get out of the idea of what things look like and be courageous enough to say, this is what Indigenous folks need to happen so that we can get our healing work. I also think that it's important to instill that we are centuries behind. So we have to bring our children along. Children have to be next to us doing this work. So do not feel bad, sisters, for us being revolutionary mothers. There is nothing to feel bad about. They will appreciate it when they get older and understand what it meant, because we are doing history. For us to separate the two, it doesn't make sense. My children as well have been next to me the entire time. So please know that bring your children, community, bring your children, bring everybody, and stop trying to compare what we do to what they do, and be courageous enough to say we're going to define ourselves.
Love it. Love it.
Mine is real quick too. Mine is just the Harambe of it all. We got to bring it all in and bring it all together. We are all we have. Nobody is coming to save us. We have to lay the ego down. We have to stop pulling out the rulers and measuring to see whose is bigger and what and all of that. Like, we have to take all of that away and get to work, because we, time is running. Like, this is it. And if we don't, we have everything we need. We have the doctors, we have the teachers, we have the lawyers, the preachers, we have everything we need. All we need to do is bring it in and lay the egos to the side and understand that we're all we got. Like, we're it. This is it. And if we can't get it together and we can't make it happen for us, it's not going to happen, because nobody else cares if it happens for us but us. And so for me, that's just what it is for community. I am committed to the sister circle so much. It has taught me so much. It has brought me all the way down to the ground and build me all the way back up in love. And so, I got some strong alpha females around me that do not play, and they do not care. Okay. Fix your face, get up, and let's go. We got shit to do. And that's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? And so I appreciate that, and I also appreciate the mothers like you, Topazz, Miss Helen, that just be like, baby, come on, it's okay. Because sometimes you need a little bit of that too, and I'm a big old baby. So I know I cry many tears, joy, sadness, sorrow, all of it. But it's community, and it's who we are. It's what we do. We gonna fall out, and then we gonna fix it, and that's just how it is, because we're all we have. We have to show up for one another. So I'm committed. I thank you guys for allowing me to be here on this platform with you. It's an honor. You are amazing, beautiful women. I love you guys, every single one of you. Community, and I it's what I do. It's who I am. So that's all I got.
Yeah.
And I'll just close with this. I got a text that one of our brothers needs some prayer, some healing. I'm not sure what the situation is right now, but I do want to send that out to our brother, Tate Anderson. Like I said, I just got a text, so I hadn't had a chance to dissect or even read it, but I do want to send some prayer, some healing that way, if even if it's not needed, right? And so part of community is, again, pray for me. Pray for us. We're out here. We're in a pandemic. We are one community. It's not about Louisville. It ain't about DC. It ain't about Houston, Atlanta, or Denver, or Aurora. We are one community. We have to get back to being one community. I think, as Gila, Auset, and Shayna has said, we literally are all we got. And so until we start to show up, I need Black men to show up. I need Black children to show up, Black educators to show up, Black judges to show up, Black police to show up. We need you to show up. And so when doing so, if we're representational of that one factor, you can't touch us. I wanted to say something else, but my mother, she know I cuss, so whatever. But if we are the representation that we seek, you can't touch us. We are one. And so that's what I would like to leave the panel with. If you need me, you got me. If I have the capacity, I can do it. I spoke to, I'm considering, leaving Colorado soon. I'm going to be very transparent and honest. I don't know. But I'm considering it. And my cousin's the judge in Georgia, and I asked her about making some moves and moving back home. I was there all week and I got homesick. And she said, well, Shenika, I'm thinking I just moved to a new county, and I'm thinking about, running to sit on the bench here. But I don't know, because the pay sucks, the hours are crazy. I got kids, a husband, and I don't know that I can do it. And I told her, I said, if you have the capacity, you have the skill set, it would be a disservice to community. But also understand, this isn't just for her, this is for you too. If you're considering running for office, if you're considering leaving wherever you are, if you're relocating, if you're considering applying for a new job, if you have the capacity, you have the skill set and the talent, I say do it. It would be a disservice for you to keep that to yourself.
Yes. Awesome. Boss, let's see. Bless each and every one of you women for your dialogue this evening. Very insightful and powerful. Peace and blessings to you. And that is from Linda Johnson Juice. Thank Thank you, Linda, for that. Thank you, ladies, for your contribution this evening and this conversation. Very rich, very rich. I'm so glad that I was obedient to the Spirit and made it happen. And I promise you, I really went into some prayer about just the direction for tonight. So this felt good. This felt right. And having you all, that was truly designated by God. Is what I see. So in closing, what I want to offer everyone is, as far as what you need to releasing in 2020, so that you can have the momentum, the stamina, the capacity to finish strong. We heard that you want to have a spending plan. That was referenced first, because we do have a tendency to get carried away, especially going into December. We know what happens when we start getting into, this whole Christmas thing. For those of you that do Christmas and even Kwanzaa, we can go all out. And I don't know what people did, for those that got all lost and caught up in spending over the weekend and today, but spending plans are essential. And they're different from budgets. It's a paradigm shift. It really is a different way of looking at that can give you a better, hopefully help you to stay committed to it. Releasing the toxicity, the weight, and being able to separate out who those comrades are. When you find out who those comrades are, then you don't get it twisted and have people who belong in the comrade box all up in the VIP section with your confidants. So you want to be careful about that, because that really is a VIP section where the confidants belong. So when you have people up there that don't belong, you got all kind of drama going on, unnecessary stress, unnecessary mayhem. So be careful about that. So look at what you really need to release. Balance. We heard balance a lot. Making sure that you are bringing balance. So the things that have you tilted, twisted, overweighted on one side, heavy weighted, burdened down, release the things that don't belong. It's okay to let some of that stuff go. It does not disqualify you as a valuable, powerful, impactful, relevant Black woman, Black man, individual, whomever you are. You don't have to carry it all. We can't do it all. It's been stated tonight, we can't do it all. So look at what you need to release as it relates to what you've been trying to do too much. And then how effective are you really, because you're all scattered all over the place? Take a look at how often you're saying yes. And then going into this new year, setting trajectory, community. We are community. You heard the commitment from these incredible women, these phenomenal, I call them warrior queens, of what community really is and what we need to be looking at as community going in. Center ourselves, recognize that we are all that we have. We got to stop looking at other people to rescue us. We got to stop looking at the system to rescue us, the government to rescue us. What is this grant money that's been coming in for stimulus checks? Stop looking for the stimulus checks to rescue you. There's some people that got all bent out of shape because they didn't get that last stimulus check. Stop looking for those things. Let's come together. Let's be more committed to one another, to community as a whole. We stop competing. That's something else that I heard. Release that need to compete and compare. Release that need to compete and compare. We are in this together. And just because there's already one Black warrior queen in the office, or that's got that contract, or that's on that same pathway as you, does not mean that we can't be aligned and paralleled and go for it together. There's plenty out there for all of us. So stop beating the other person down and beating them up because maybe they got there first or they got theirs. If anything, let's turn around and look who's reaching for us, who's reaching for what we can give back. to help build community as we're going into 2021. We have to do a better job of that. Whose hand can we hold? Let's grab somebody's hand together. And if hopefully somebody's holding ours so that we're not looking like this. Amen. Well, again, you have been watching R&R with Topazz. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. We'll be right back here. I'll be right back here next Monday at 7 p.m. You have been watching Black Media. This is CTN Media. This is media for us, for the culture. We're changing the narrative with CTN Media, powered by the Black Business Initiative, BBI. All right, let's do this. Let's finish strong. Let's commit to finishing strong. No excuses, no cop-outs. If we're too weak, if we need some support, we're going to support each other, including Tay Anderson. We had a request to lift him up in prayer. If you have his number, send him a text, encourage him, give him a call, leave him a voicemail. God bless you. God keep you. Let's finish strong. Good night, everybody. And thank you from CTN Media with Shay and Jice Johnson. Peace and blessings, everybody. Peace and blessings.